What's the messiest wedding you've ever been to? Story 1. This one wasn't even my story originally. My buddy told it like 3 times, and each time I was like, nah, you're embellishing. You have to be embellishing. He was not. If anything, he undersold it. So the couple somehow makes it through the ceremony, right? Vows said, rings exchanged, legal paperwork probably already signed, which makes this next part feel extra irreversible. Reception starts, people are mingling, drinks are flowing, and then, somewhere between the first toast and the cake, boom, they break up, just mid-wedding. Like the relationship hits its expiration date before dessert. No dramatic announcement either, apparently. Just escalating tension, voices getting louder, people pretending not to hear until it becomes impossible to ignore. You know that awkward stare into your drink and pray moment? Yeah, that, but multiplied by like 80 guests. Then the cake comes out, and instead of, a cute little slice and polite clapping, it turns into a full-on food fight. Grown adults, in formal wear, launching frosting like it's a coping mechanism, which, honestly, maybe it was. My favorite part, if you can even call it that, is the bride's mom. Just parked at the bar, not moving, quietly crying into her drink like she already knew this was coming and just didn't have the energy to stop it. I asked my buddy what he did during all this, and he said, ate cake and stayed low, which, yeah, survival instincts. Respect. Story 2. I wish I was exaggerating this. I really do. But no, this was a whole live event. So the groom is outside, face down in literal mud. Like nature just claimed him. Man is beyond drunk. He's in that weird in-between state where he's throwing up, then immediately passing out, then waking up just enough to repeat the cycle like a cursed loop. I remember thinking, okay, someone's gonna help him. Right? That feels like a baseline expectation at a wedding. Enter the bride, my sister-in-law, second marriage, already a whole history there, and she finds him like this. And for a split second, I'm like, okay, she's gonna be worried, maybe call for help. Nope, she just starts swinging, full fists, kicking, stomping, yelling. You've ruined my day, you can't! Like we're not all 10 feet away witnessing this absolute nightmare. And I'm frozen. Like, do I intervene? Do I call someone? Do I pretend I suddenly don't have eyes? The venue manager is the only one trying to step in, bless that poor man, while the rest of my in-laws just stand there, watching, like it's dinner theater. Apparently this was normal for them, which somehow made it worse. I remember halfway through thinking, this can't be real. This feels illegal. This feels like something that should come with sirens. Anyway, they lasted a few years. Don't ask me how. And then he got caught cheating with a whole lineup of people. She broke his nose. Divorce followed. Honestly, that whole relationship felt like a warning sign that just kept getting louder until it finally exploded. Story 3. People think I'm exaggerating when I say my family weddings are an experience. Like they think I'm doing a bit. I wish I was doing a bit. I would love for this to be a bit. So this is an outdoor wedding, hot, chaotic, vaguely smells like gasoline, and the groom rolls up in jeans, leather vest, no shirt, just nipples out, vows pending. I'm already like, yeah, okay, we're setting the tone early. Ceremony starts, and during the vows, this man is wearing sunglasses. Not subtle ones either. Full, I just pulled up on a motorcycle, I don't own energy, and the bride just snaps, rips them off his face and goes, you will look me in the eye when you say this. I'm sitting there like, oh cool, we're doing live conflict resolution as part of the package. Nice, very interactive. Then, we get to the rings. He straight up goes, I can't wear it, I can't have it on at work, sir, right now. And she fires back. Well, you aren't at work now, are you? Dead silence again. Different flavor this time. More exhausted. Meanwhile, the reception setup is literally Bud Light in the back of a pickup truck full of ice. That's it. That's the bar. Kids just existing, dehydrated, I guess, building character. Bridesmaids, barefoot, fully just free-range toes in the dirt. And I hate that my brain fixated on this, but the groom's cake was a motorcycle. Like a very proud, very detailed motorcycle, which honestly felt like the most emotionally stable part of the entire event. People don't believe me when I describe this stuff. I get it. I wouldn't believe me either. But I was there. I saw the sunglasses get snatched in real time. I can't unsee that. Story 4. So I'm at this reception, right? Music's loud, people are tipsy, everything's doing that fake, we're all having a great time thing. And the bride's making her rounds like a politician at a fundraiser, smiling, hugging, air-kissing people she probably muted on Facebook years ago. Her daughter, like 6 years old, tiny human, little dress, probably overstimulated as hell, tugs on her and just goes, "Mom, can I have some water?" Normal request. Basic hydration. Revolutionary concept, apparently. And the bride just snaps. No warning, no buildup, just full volume. "Shut up. You are the reason I am in therapy." Dead silence. Like the DJ might as well have record scratched the universe. People froze mid-sip. I swear I watched a guy halfway through chewing just stop processing error. And I'm standing there thinking, did that just happen? Did we all hallucinate that? Because she immediately flips back into smile mode and starts chatting again. Like she didn't just emotionally nuke a 6-year-old in surround sound. The kid just stood there, didn't even cry right away, which somehow made it worse. Like she was used to it. That part messed me up more than anything. Halfway through the night, I couldn't even enjoy the cake. Well, I mean, I still ate it. I am not a monster, but it tasted like discomfort. I left early. No dramatic exit, just grabbed my stuff and dipped because some things you can't unhear, and that was definitely one of them. Story 5. Okay, this one lives in my brain rent-free and I hate it there. So we're at the reception, right? Mixed crowd, like very mixed. Half the guests are conservative Muslims. The other half are still pretty modest, not exactly the let's get wild on the dance floor demographic. So already the vibe is polite, controlled, respectful, and then, out of absolutely nowhere, the bride decides it's time to perform, like a full strip tease. Center of the dance floor, no warning, no build-up, just boom. We're all suddenly unwilling participants in whatever this is. And I'm not even gonna lie, my first reaction wasn't shock. It was confusion. Like maybe this is a joke, a prank, a weird choreographed bit that's about to pivot into something normal. Nope, it just kept going. And the groom, this poor man, looked like he wanted the floor to open up and swallow him whole. Not in a haha I'm shy way. In a please God end this way. I actually felt bad for him. Like secondhand embarrassment so strong I almost pulled a muscle. Meanwhile, the guests? Frozen. Completely frozen. You could feel the collective discomfort. I swear nobody even blinked. Halfway through I started mentally planning my exit. Like, do I fake a phone call? Do I just evaporate? Anyway, they didn't even make it back from the honeymoon before separating. Which, yeah. Not exactly shocking after whatever that was. Oh. And this is the same woman who, 2 weeks before her own wedding, came to mine and insisted on being called the bride and wore white at my wedding. So honestly, the dance floor incident tracks, completely on brand. Story 6. So none of us had met her before the wedding. Not once, which, yeah, red flag. But my friend was in that when you know phase, and apparently what he knew was 6 months of vibes and 0 background checks. We show up, meet her, and there's this immediate silent group chat happening with just eye contact. Like nobody says it, but everybody's thinking it. Oh no, she's not even trying to be charming, just sharp. You know that energy where every sentence feels like it might end in a warning label? Yeah, that. Anyway, after the ceremony we're all hanging out, she's telling some story. Honestly, I don't even remember what it was because this part rewired my brain, and someone lightly jumps in. Like normal conversation overlap, totally harmless. And she just snaps, "Do not interrupt me while I am talking." Full volume. No smile, no haha, just kidding, just straight up verbal taser. Then, this is the wild part. She just goes right back to the story like she didn't just emotionally clothesline the entire group. Everyone froze, like actual statues. Even her own friends looked scared, which is never a good sign. That's insider information right there. I remember glancing at my friend, the groom, and you could literally see it hit him. Like, oh no, this is who I married. And I hate that he said later that was the first time he saw the real her. Because I'm like, bro, 6 months? You speed ran your own downfall. They lasted 5 years, which honestly feels less like a success and more like a slow, miserable endurance challenge nobody won. Story 7. Okay, so I'm a bridesmaid, right, already running on fumes, bobby pins in my mouth, holding a bouquet like it's a fragile emotional support object. And we're all crammed into this tiny room getting ready. Cute chaos, mimosas. Someone's curling iron is definitely a fire hazard. Then one of the other bridesmaids just casually drops, "Wait, does he know she's still married?" And I pause. Like, I actually stopped mid-blink. I thought she meant emotionally still married. You know, like baggage. Nope. Legal. Government issued married, papers signed, husband number one still very much on record. Apparently they just never got around to the divorce. Girl, that's not a missed dentist appointment. That's a whole marital status. So now we're all standing there like, do we tell him? Is this above our pay grade? I'm holding hairspray like it's about to become evidence in a courtroom drama. And the bride's just like, it's fine. It's basically over. Meanwhile, I'm picturing this poor groom out there smiling, shaking hands, completely unaware he's about to enter a legally questionable sequel. Halfway through the ceremony, I'm not even listening to the vows anymore. I'm just thinking, is this binding? Is this a group project? Are we all complicit? Anyway, yeah, lasted like 2 months, which honestly feels generous considering the whole still technically married to someone else detail. Story 8. I'm sitting there in the church, her church, mind you, like this is supposed to be her home turf, her whole sacred moment vibe. The vicar's up there doing the usual love and God speech, really leaning into it, and I glance at the bride expecting at least a respectful nod or something. Nope. She's straight up rolling her eyes, like a teenager being lectured about curfew. At one point, she actually sighs, like this man is personally inconveniencing her with the concept of commitment. I thought maybe I imagined it, like maybe I'm being judgy, maybe her eyelash is itchy, whatever. But then she starts looking around the room, fidgeting, barely even making eye contact with the groom. And I'm thinking, girl, you know this is the main event, right? This isn't the rehearsal of the rehearsal. Then comes the first dance. They get maybe, 30 seconds in? Not even the chorus hits. And she just dips, leaves him there like he's a coat rack and goes straight to her friends to dance. I actually laughed. I couldn't help it. Not loud, but like that quiet, oh, this is doomed chuckle you do when reality gets a little too obvious. Later we find out she'd already been cheating before the wedding. And honestly, yeah, tracks. Completely tracks. Story 9. We only made it to the reception, so I missed whatever chaos happened earlier. Honestly, probably for the best. But walking in, the vibe already felt off. Not dramatic, just weirdly disconnected. Like everyone showed up to different parties by accident. Bride's about 5 months pregnant. Visibly so, and she's got a drink in her hand. Not like a sip and set it down situation either. I remember doing that slow double take, like, okay, maybe it's juice. Nope, definitely not juice. Meanwhile, the groom is on another planet. I'm not even being dramatic. Man is gone. Slurring, swaying, hugging people a little too long. You know that energy where you're like, all right, buddy, gravity is not your friend tonight. They do one dance together, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go, moment of connection. Maybe I misjudged. Nope, they bail halfway through the song. Just disengage, like someone hit pause on their marriage. After that, they spend the entire night apart. Bride's with her friends, groom's with his, like 2 separate birthday parties happening in the same room. No checking in, no little smiles across the floor, nothing. At one point, I started imagining they'd forget to leave together. Like, genuinely. Just 2 Uber rides going in opposite directions. I left thinking, yeah, this doesn't feel like the beginning of something. It feels like the middle of something already going wrong. Story 10. So everything's normal-ish, ceremony done, people eating, DJ doing his thing, and then it's cake time. Cute, right? Sweet little tradition, gentle smear, everyone laughs. Nah. This man smashes the cake into her face. Not playful, not, aw, look at them. I mean aggressive, full hand, frosting in the eyes type of smash. You could feel the room recoil, like a collective, oh no. And before anyone can even process it, her dad and brothers just activate. They come out of nowhere, grab him, and literally frog march him out of the venue. No hesitation, no discussion. Just, we'll be right back energy, but violent. We're all just sitting there like, do we keep eating? Is the DJ supposed to play through this? Then they bring him back. And he looks like he got into a fight with all of them. Because, spoiler, he did. Shirt messed up, face busted, whole vibe shifted from wedding to cautionary tale. And here's the part that sticks. This wasn't some random outburst. This was the preview. They only got married because she was pregnant, pushed into it by family, and you could just feel how wrong it was from the start. They stayed together longer than they should have, way longer. But eventually she got out, remarried a genuinely good guy. Him went downhill, hard, drugs, alcohol, gone way too young. And the whole time I just kept thinking, all of that started with a handful of cake and a room full of people pretending it was normal for like 5 seconds too long. Alright, I'm logging off before I lose faith in weddings completely. Drop your stories, like the video, and subscribe for more messy content.